I've got some new tour dates to announce. Excited to say we will be going to the Australia. And that is going to be Auckland, New Zealand. And that's February 23rd. Gold Coast in the Australia on February 29. Brisbane in the Australia. March 2nd. Melbourne on March 5th. And Sydney in March 8th. Both of those in the Australia. Pre-sale starts Thursday, December 14th at 10 a.m. local time over there with code RATKING. General on sale begins Friday, December 15th at 10 a.m. local time. We also have tickets remaining for Charlottesville, VA, Raleigh, North Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina State College, PA, Syracuse, NY, and Amherst. And we will also be looking to add some shows over there in you-know-where, the Australia. All tickets are available at theovon.com/TOUR. Also, if the tickets get overpriced, just wait. Don't waste your money on these secondary sites. We'll add a date or we'll come back. And just grateful to get to bring the show and have people see it, man. I can't even believe it. And thank you guys for being a part of this journey with me. Praise God, baby gang. Today's guest is an artist. She's a tattoo artist. She is a musician, and she's a unique person in the world. She's a Christian, and she's just had quite a journey in life, as we all have. We're grateful to sit down with her today. Today's guest is my friend, Miss Kat Von D.
Shine that light on me. I'll sit and tell you my stories. Shine on me, and I will find a song I've been singing. I'm on
to go to the grocery store.
Those are the go. You want to pull the mic up? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, whatever.
That's okay. You're going to the grocery store in those?
No, I don't go to the grocery store.
I can't even. I mean, maybe like on Neptune or something, I feel like. I don't know how. I wonder if they would even. If I were at the grocery, I don't know if I would let you in. I think it almost looks like you're shopping.
We don't have to wear glasses, by the way.
No, we can take them off. I know that you walked in with these and I was like, wow. Yeah, I feel like that was virtual reality before they had kind of virtual reality, I guess. Well, yeah, because the glasses, like if you have dark glasses, I feel like then, yeah, the reality was kind of virtual because it almost seems like when you have glasses on, like that the world is a little bit separate from you.
Yeah, I mean, when I walk around with these, I can like stare at people and they don't really... I don't feel bad about it because I can't see it. I don't know.
Yeah, because they're skiing by you, probably. I would assume that's probably why. No, but you always look so stylish, and so that's why I wore this nice jacket.
That is nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can take them off if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and they look really neat.
Thanks.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's really, really cool. I've known about you for a long time. Sorry if I seem a little bit rattled. I ended up watching a movie real late yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was watching, well, it's holiday time, so I was watching Family Man. That's my favorite Christmas movie.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
No.
Really?
No, my son's on a Home Alone kick right now.
Ooh.
So, yeah, he really loves Harry and Marv. Like,
yeah.
Like to hear his little voice say like, I love Marv. I'm just like, this is the cutest thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, it also shows he might lightly be considering crime, I think, because Marv, they're the wet bandits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the Tom and Jerry situation where he like laughs at somebody falling,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was watching that sequence the other day, and it's so funny when he sets the little race cars. And then I just love how they don't get deterred, though. They keep trying to get into the house and do the dumbest stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder if people like Harry or Marv more.
Huh. I don't know.
Harry was the lovable one. Yeah, that's Daniel Stern right there. He was kind of the...
I'm a huge Joe Pesci fan. So
you are?
Yeah, I think like My Cousin Vinny is one of my favorite.
Yeah.
My Cousin Vinny, it feels like, is my life currently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because my husband and I mean, my husband doesn't look like Joe Pesci, but he dresses like him in that movie, like with the cowboy boots and like the black leather.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then-
like
and
an
then-
Uber driver in Tulsa kind of?
I don't know, but we ended up.
Oh, there's your husband and kid right there.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so handsome.
Thanks. But we ended up moving to Indiana in the middle of nowhere, and it just it's kind of like weirdly fish out of water, but not really. Like I really do feel like we belong there.
Yeah?
But yeah, so I always think about My Cousin Vinny's scenario.
Yeah, because he was kind of in a rural area, wasn't he?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that movie was good. Yeah, I like Family Man. Do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I like Nightmare Before Christmas. I guess that's kind of the token goth Christmas movie. I don't know.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah, I think after what's that movie what was that? What's the thing that all the goth people do in town? I used to go to it sometimes. Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Or is that a goth thing or is that
No,
not?
I think it's like a theater kid thing. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's what it
Yeah,
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes like the goth kids would always get kind of grouped in with that.
Yeah.
Like I remember people would drive by them sometimes and be like, "Yeah, have fun at Rocky Horror Picture Show," and they'd be like, "What?" So maybe that's
No
just-
one's yelled that at me before, but
Yeah, did you see Macaulay Culkin was just on the news
Yeah.
yesterday?
he got a star.
He got a star.
Yeah. I don't know why that made me so happy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why it took that long, I guess. He's like the most like iconic child actor, right? I
Yeah.
mean, if you think about
Oh
it.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You know, I try not to think about children much that, because if I
Yeah.
don't, just for, checks and balances and all. But yeah, he was the best. It was interesting kind of listening. Did you see his speech that he made?
No, but I saw Catherine O'Hara was there and I love that support. I think
Yeah.
it's so cool.
Yeah, it was really sweet. Yeah, I think of that a lot about like childhood actors, like how, can you play it real quick if you can find it on Twitter? It was kind of interesting. Just because of growing up in it seems really scary place.
Yeah.
Or the entertainment industry seems like a really uncomfortable place to grow up in.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for coming in. Kat Bondi, really nice to see you today.
Yeah.
And so I just so for some of my viewers that don't know,
Sure.
right? So I know that you are artist and a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
And an entrepreneur.
Thanks.
And you started, or people would know you a lot from LA Ink and from a lot of your tattoo work.
Yeah.
And that whole universe, right?
Totally.
Is
Yeah,
that fair to say?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people know me from the tattoo world and the tattoo TV shows that I used to be on and
Yeah.
stuff. And then I've done a lot of things along the way. And yeah.
Nice. And so now you've moved out of Los Angeles, right?
Recently, yeah.
Yeah. How long ago did you move out?
Well, I bought a house about two or 3 years ago, in the middle of nowhere in Indiana, and it was really about the house. I mean, it was about a lot of things. There's a lot of reasons behind making such an extreme move, but I love restoring old Victorian houses. And in LA, I used to have a house that was built in 1890, and this one was built in 1874. So it's a Second Empire style Victorian home, and it was operating as a bed and breakfast for I think a few decades. And my husband and I, when all like the lockdown stuff started happening in California, we just saw a different facet to where we called home, and we just didn't feel connected anymore. We didn't really want to be there anymore. And so we looked up rural towns in different states, and I feel like no one knows where this town is. Even my friends in Indiana have like never heard of it, and so that was a really good sign. We were like, let's find a place where we can be kind of left alone, and we went there and we loved it. And people say it's haunted, but I haven't experienced that. Yeah.
Well, it's haunted by you now, it sounds like, because if it wasn't haunted, I feel like it kind of like, now it's got its chance, but also 1874, that is so crazy, especially in Indiana. Indiana, I think, had a lot of like, I don't know if they had like slave stuff up there.
Well,
or
actually, so our house was built by Benjamin Franklin Schenck, and he was the haymaker of the town. So his family made hay, and they also owned a lot of the steamboats. And it's called Switzerland County because a lot of the original settlers were from Switzerland. And what's really cool about the Schenck family is that there's actually underground tunnels that connected through underneath our house. So they were pretty big advocates for
Helping out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's pretty
wow.
cool.
So the Underground Railroad stopped there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I think I could see you being in a place that the Underground Railroad had stopped through and kind of Hogwarts probably passed through. Like, it's definitely a thorough, you know,
I love getting pigeonholed right now.
sorry.
I love it. I love it. It's good.
The only way I know how to like accept things in the world is to pigeonhole them, I think. So was it tough choosing? Because that sounds like almost so much fun. Like once you guys made that decision, was it hard to make that decision to leave Los Angeles or?
No.
Yeah.
It was almost overnight too. We were just like, we got to get out of here. And you know, we have a son too. And I think like a little bit of what you were talking about before, just there's pros and cons to everywhere you live. You know, I think like LA has some really beautiful things about it. I love my friends. I think LA has the best food, in this country, to be honest, but, it's just my own opinion.
Yeah.
And you know, I like the pretty things. I think there's like nice, like where I'm at, there's no sidewalks. Like we just have like a lot of dirt roads and there's no billboards, there's no Uber, nothing, no delivery services. We have like one stoplight and a gas station, and I don't know, I prefer the latter, you know?
Yeah.
But I go to LA a lot because we still have like, I make music. My husband is a musician as well. So we fly back out a lot. All of our producer friends and stuff are there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you say of how it was interesting, like once you made the choice, kind of, that was kind of the same for me. Like I've been living in Los Angeles for maybe 16 years, I think. And so I still have my apartment there, right? Just because it's cheaper than going and even getting a hotel for when I do go back.
I know. When I go out there now, I stay with Charo. She's my best friend, and she's nice enough to give us like a little room in the back of her house. And yeah, I look forward to it. I feel like being able to see my friends and stuff, but I also look forward to kind of escaping and just you know, having like a safe haven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. And once I made the decision, there was actually a friend said you should move to Nashville, and I was like, that's so weird. And I talked to a friend of mine about it, an old friend of mine, and he's like, dude, you used to talk about that when we lived.
About moving to Nashville?
Yeah, he's like, when we lived together, you used to talk about that all the time. I was like, really?
Uh-huh.
I don't remember it, but I was like, yeah. And so then I came here, and before I knew it, I had moved, and I was like, oh my gosh, I always thought it was so scary to be able to leave Los Angeles for some reason.
Yeah.
You know, there's something you're letting go of or giving up on kind of, but it's only been kind of like a gift, I think, you know?
Yeah. Do you mean because of like the entertainment industry or something, or?
I think, you know, that maybe that's it. I think, you know, I don't know. I don't know. There's nothing really, I kind of decided there's nothing really that I want out of Hollywood really, which I think is why I'm grateful that there is a thing called that you can do podcasting, where you can do your own stuff, and you can do stand-up comedy where you don't really have to have a Hollywood involved, really, you know, these days.
Yeah.
So what did you ask me? I'm sorry, Kat.
I don't know. I don't think I asked you anything.
Oh, damn. God, that's where I live right there a lot of times. Like people are like, yeah, sometimes I'll be talking. People are like, dude, who are you talking to? Like, did you ask me something? They're like, nah, dude. They're like, I don't even know you. And I'm like, all right. And I'm just going to go get in my car and leave then.
But I think
but no, it was interesting.
Yeah.
Just moving and making that choice and suddenly being somewhere.
Yeah.
Did you guys look at, because you seem like a real, you know, like you seem like you go to some realms on Zillow that the rest of us aren't allowed into.
True.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you probably have gotten some passwords.
Well, it's funny because I like my real estate lady in LA like would always laugh because I'm just like, hey, let me know if anything interesting or obscure comes up, and it would be like some of the weirdest. I know all the castles in LA. There's not that many, but and I used to live in one, but yeah, just interesting. Yeah, you're right. There are some.
Oh yeah, I think definitely if there's a bit, you know, anything that's had a missing person in it, or just like a, you know, a found femur. Maybe.
I mean, one time I saw like the Unabomber had his little shack in, was it Oklahoma, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had
Oklahoma City.
That was for sale, and I was like, who would? It was in the middle of the forest. Like, I saw that one for sale once.
You're like, who would buy that? And then you like send it to your husband. You're like, what do you think, babe? You're like, I don't know. I mean, but yeah, some stuff is collector's items. It's, you know, but yeah,
and
you guys.
It's interesting because like I always say, like, you know, your idea of a good time is my idea of a nightmare, you know, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And I feel like you look at these houses that to me, I love the historical aspect and preserving things of the past. I like the human fingerprint of art in general. Like I have friends that are into like the complete opposite. They love the modern stuff, or you know, or even 1950s or Art Deco. Some of that stuff, it's cool, but to me, I feel like I want every corner to feel like somebody dedicated their lifetime to it, you know?
Wow.
And so I appreciate that a lot. And I like conserving that and restoring it. So, but then some people would look at it and be like, let's tear it down and just, you know.
Yeah. I think that happens a lot. Yeah. You seem like somebody that would have like crown molding in the top of their mouth, probably.
Yeah.
You know, like you seem definitely like you just are really ornate, or I don't know if ornate is the word.
Yeah, ornate's a wonderful word.
Ornate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm not trying to judge you, but I'm just judging you out loud and clearly. That's funny. I never thought about that. Yeah, I always like to pigeon. I put people in like little spaces that makes it feel I don't know if it makes it feel manageable. I never thought about that before.
I like it. I mean, to me it makes life a lot more simple because I don't know, like I only wear black. I know it's a choice. I just like it. And I remember the day that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had these beautiful dresses that I had accumulated over the years that they were really colorful. And I was like, I'm just never going to wear them. Why am I kidding myself? And I just gave everything away and I simplified everything. And now I just wear black, and I've pigeonholed myself into this gothy corner, I guess.
Yeah. But that's
yeah.
I like to wear black when I do stand-up comedy because I don't like to make a lot of choices. Like even this today for me was this took a long time to figure out, and I just don't know. I don't like making a lot of choices. But yeah, did you guys look at some other places when you were looking for your home? Because 1870, I mean, that's an old place.
Yeah, it is. We were looking at different states, and I think Indiana was appealing to me because I saw like the mass exodus of California happening, and everybody was moving to Texas and Nashville, and I don't know what the other places were that they were. I think those two are kind of, or some Nevada, I guess.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to get away from as much as I could from the California mentality in general. So I was like, Indiana seems safe. like no one's going there. But yeah.
Wow.
So,
That's cool.
and I like our little town it's cool because it's right on the Ohio River. And so the houses along the river are like the prettiest, you know, because they're, I don't know, I guess.
Yeah, because you got to have money to live by the water.
Yeah.
Usually.
And then it's like, then we have like our little main street, and it's just like our downtown or whatever is literally 1 block long. And then in between that and where my house is on the hill, it's kind of like houses that could use a lot of love, you know? And I just felt like no one's going to move here, you know? Like if they, like, okay, so you're in California, you know, like Silver Lake and Echo Park. I was around when that was just super ghetto. Like, you know, nobody in their right mind would move there. It's like, it was actually quite dangerous in some areas. And now it's like, good luck finding a tiny place for less than $1.2 million, you know? And so I feel like I've bought myself a lot of time finding a place that's not going to get
changed.
Yeah. Like I don't want, you know.
Yeah, you don't want, you wanted to get as far away from that as possible.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What were some scary parts about moving into a house that old? Like, what are things that people do not think about, I guess? Because that's old, bro. That's like, that's only, I mean, that's pretty old. I mean, 1874, that you can't even really get much older. I don't think that would before that.
I feel like not in America. I feel like there are some houses from the late 1700s, I guess, but
I don't know. When did people start using wood to build houses? Because at some point we evolved probably from...
It's a regional thing, really, because, you know, like on the East Coast, you don't have earthquakes, so you can have a lot more bricks.
Oh, it's true, huh?
Yeah. So...
What's the most popular piece of house building material?
Well, it's expensive now
Okay.
just because of inflation. Everything's.
Oh yeah, these days, dang, you gotta. Oh, it is thought the first wooden structure was built over 10,000 years ago. Europe's Neolithic longhouse, constructed in around 5,000 to 6,000 BC, and it is an example of the earliest freestanding timber dwellings. Huh. So wow, 5,000, 6,000 BC. So that's like almost 8,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. But I guess it makes sense, dude. If you're standing around and you're cold or something,
Yeah.
and they got a lot of sticks around, if you don't do something, you're an idiot. I think, no offense to whoever that guy is, you know, but you gotta figure it out, dude. You know, there's only so long you can just go like this,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
before you try to change the game, you
Yeah.
know. And the most common building material in the world is concrete. Wow, is the most widely used building material in the world, making it a good starting material to get to know. What did you guys have to do to the home when you got there?
We're actually still renovating it right now. So actually we don't live in it yet because it's there's just so much work having to redo a house like that. So we live actually at our church's parsonage. So the pastor from our church lives in Louisville, and so him and his wife they drive up every Sunday. So they were like, hey, you know, there's just no place to rent out there. Like there's literally no, like people live there forever and then they pass it down or sell or whatever. So when we first moved out here, we're like, man, where are we going to live? And then they were just so nice enough to let us stay there.
Oh, that's nice of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're in a place where there's like not even really a real estate market. Yeah, if you say there's no Ubers, like,
Yeah.
I was in a town recently and I couldn't get an Uber at night. It was like, what? It's kind of a busy, but it was like, I guess everywhere doesn't really have it.
Yeah.
you know?
No, not where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What have been some neat things about being out there, like in just that?
Well, I homeschool my son, and so I like that Indiana has they're very supportive. Like the state of Indiana is very supportive to homeschool families and stuff. So that was a very big selling point for us. And
Why is it hard to do? Is there like a lot of regulation with it?
some states and different places have different. Yeah. So to me, I'm like the less government, the better. So I was like, you know, that's one of the perks of the state of Indiana. And so yeah, like my son just turned 5 last week. So we're, you know, getting it ready to start like
First grade?
yeah. What? I know, it's so cool.
Wow. And so do you like have to redesign the room for like the learning room or whatever each year to make the grade seem different, or?
I mean, right now he's like, we're not doing crazy curriculum because he's just turned 5.
Yeah.
So, but once we get into the house, I do plan on having like a little schoolroom area. But that's the cool thing about homeschooling is that you can teach anywhere, really. I feel like the idea of putting your kid in a, you know, like a school or a classroom setting, I think that's kind of, people are tending to steer away from that in a lot of places. So
Yeah. Well, some of it starts to feel dangerous too. It seems like there's a lot of violence
in school,
in schools.
Yeah.
It seems really but I don't know, maybe that's just like the algorithm, like for some reason sends me those videos sometimes, but it seems like there's like a lot of violence in schools, but I don't know. That's one of the reasons why I chose to live in Tennessee. It's very safe, or in Nashville, it's very safe
Safer.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super safe.
Yeah.
And, yeah, but I don't go to school anymore, so I don't know what it's like really.
Same. I didn't go to school.
You didn't?
I started tattooing when I was 14 years old, and then I remember the first time I ever did a tattoo, I'm like, this is what I want to do. Like I just knew it in my heart. And so I was like, why would I spend so much time in school when I don't need to, you know?
Yeah.
Not that I would condone people dropping out or anything like that, but it worked for me. And
people will do it without you condoning
I know.
it. I think. A lot of people don't like it, or they're not even smart and they don't like it. Your family started because you're from another country. Your family's from another country.
Yeah, so my family's from South America, from Argentina, and I was born in Mexico, and then I moved here in the 80s.
What were they doing there?
My dad was a missionary for the church, so he's like long line of like missionary doctors, and so he was building hospitals in like little pueblitos that didn't have any hospitals, and then me and my siblings were born there, so it was pretty cool upbringing. I loved it.
Yeah.
We came from nothing, like literally nothing.
Really?
Yeah, we had like dirt floors and no running water, and it was like truly third world, but
Wow.
it's cool. And you're from Nicaragua?
My father's from there. My grandfather, I guess, was a missionary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they were down in Nicaragua, and that's where my dad was born, because that's where my grandfather, I guess, met his wife or something.
Uh-huh.
And then that's where my dad was born at. And so he grew up there. He used to tell me stories about kids in his village that would eat dirt, actually, and they didn't have anything to eat, and they would eat dirt, and their stomachs would get like all distended and stuff. Like he would tell me some kind of crazy stories, but yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that they were missionaries down there as well. And then your family moved up to America?
Yeah. We came up through Texas and then moved to a little town in Southern California called Loma Linda.
When you say came up through, what are we talking about? I won't
Like
say
driving.
Okay.
We just drove through. I didn't have my papers yet because I was like underage.
Okay. I was going to say, if the D stands for deportation.
No, I wasn't through, like I wasn't in the trunk or anything like that. No.
Cool. It would have been so you to be in the trunk, though. I feel like just like in some mysterious compartment.
It's the reason I look like this now.
You're like, this is the closest thing I can find to a coffin. Hey, this coffin's got a tire in it. That's funny.
Yeah.
Ho, 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 boys and girls, get ready to jingle and protect your holiday balls with help from our friends over at Manscaped. They help your balls, baby. They'll do it. They can do it. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming have just launched their Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, but I like to call it the small gift for your big package, boys. That's right. Let your ornaments shine and enjoy 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with code Theo. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the one-stop shop for holiday gifting perfection. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code Theo at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code THEO. Give the gift of Manscaped this holiday season. Cold turkey, baby, that's a meat. And it may be great on sandwiches, but there's a better way to break your bad habits. We're not talking about some weird mind voodoo from your crazy neighbor. We're talking about our sponsor, Fume. And they look at the problem in a different way. Not everything in a bad habit is wrong. So instead of a drastic, uncomfortable change, why not just remove the bad from your habit? That's Fume. Fume is an innovative, award-winning flavored air device that does just that. Instead of vapor, Fume uses flavored air. Instead of electronics, Fume is completely natural. And instead of harmful chemicals, Fume uses delicious flavors. Start the holidays off right with the good habit by going to tryfume.com/Theo. That's tryfum.com/THEO and getting the journey pack today. Fume is giving listeners of the show 10% off when they use code Theo to help make starting the good habit that much easier. What were your parents like? Did you guys have a fun family growing up? What was it like?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty modest upbringings, you know. Went to church a bunch. We didn't have a lot of money, but my dad and mom, they had a piano. And so all of us were trained, like classically trained in piano since I was 5. And so I've always loved music. Music has always been like my biggest passion. I like classical music because that's what I was kind of brought up on. But now I make like more electronic, like synthwave 80s style music.
Oh, so, sweet.
Yeah. But childhood was good. I have 2 siblings who I don't talk to anymore. They actually live in this state here.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't talk to them? No way.
Yeah, no interest in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wish them well though. But yeah.
I have one that we don't really talk much anymore. It's weird kind of, huh?
Yeah, it's strange. Yeah. Family's funny, you know, but.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because it feels like a lot of responsibility, but it also feels like the only people that maybe will have a lot of the same that shared some common information, I guess.
Yeah.
And shared like some common experiences.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's interesting I think a family is something you really have to build and has to be put together pretty well by the parents a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, I can watch a movie and I see like people who are close to their moms, or their siblings, and I can understand it, but I can't really relate as much. And I probably will sound a little bit cold, but I just feel that you feel a sense of obligation because you're related to somebody by blood, but I think it's kind of the opposite, where like, or what you said, where you have to work at it if you really want it to, be a good relationship, like any relationship,
Yeah.
But like I look at my husband's family and like they're just so cool and so warm and welcoming, and just like I'm like, oh, I don't have that. That's okay,
Was it just because I think about family stuff a lot, I think about that kind of stuff and like how does it affect you as you get older and stuff. I'm
really close with my dad, and I'm trying to talk him into moving out with us. So
really?
Yeah, that would be my dream, is if my dad could like live on the same land with us.
Does he have a cool Spanish name or
like his real name?
Central American name or no?
His name's Renee.
Oh, Renee. It's like a painter, huh?
Renee Carlos. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's in, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll buy a 28 by 12 from him. It's a unique shape for art, but I'll take it. Yeah, Renee Carlos, dude?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're Spanish, you can have kind of a little bit of a woman's name and it lets you slide more.
Yeah, I feel like there's probably a lot of Italian Renees, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely get away with being a little bit more of a woman in the name.
My dad's like the opposite of that. He looks like a 1950s like boxer.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, because if I was like, yeah, this is my buddy Sarah right here, a lot of people wouldn't be as accepting, I don't think, in America.
Yeah.
So your life now, so you moved out to Indiana, you live there. Oh, one neat thing I saw on your Instagram was you have this pretty crazy tulip garden. Did you grow it yet?
So I got there's like this plot of land right in front of my house. So people know where I live. Like once like they found out that I bought the property, it was in the news and stuff. And also like the Shank Mansion is kind of like famous on its own because of like all the supposed haunting. I haven't seen anything, but why do you squint your eyes?
No, I'm just thinking of what it's going to be like when the ghosts show up over there.
I just, I've never seen a ghost, and I'm not saying that. I have tons of friends that have like solid, they're stable people, and they have seen things and experienced things. I just personally haven't, so it's hard for me to, I don't know.
You don't believe in ghosts, you think?
Well, I don't know if I necessarily don't believe in it. I think like I just haven't experienced anything. And also I've lived in old houses, so like they make noises all the time. And I think that a lot of people want to like experience it. So they like, that's why they have like haunted tours and things like that. But I don't know. I just feel like I haven't seen it, but.
Yeah, people want there to be somebody else. Like I think some people are lonely too. And so they want a ghost to be around.
Like there was this like, these two guys that like when I bought the house, because I Googled the house to see if there's anything that came up, and on YouTube there was like a house tour that these guys did. They like rented out the bed and breakfast, but I don't know if they told them they were gonna film, and they were just like kind of dressed, I don't want to say goth, but like just older gentlemen, and they were just like really wanting to catch some paranormal activity, and it's so bad. Like it was like dust in the air, and they're like, "Did you see the orb?" And it's like there's nothing there, But I don't know. I haven't experienced anything there, but
the Shank Mansion, there it is.
Yeah. Yep.
The house was restored in 2000 and operated in a bed and breakfast was listed in the National Register of Historic Places in 2002.
Oh, look, it says that I bought it.
Yep. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, so back to the tulip thing. So there's this plot of land that's right right outside our gate, and and it's just grass. And the lady who sold me the house, she owns it, my friend Lisa. And so I hit Lisa up and I was like, hey, look, I got a bunch of tulips, and I thought it would be cool just to bring something to the community, just have, because people are coming here to take pictures anyway. So why not give them something like really cool to look at?
Yeah.
And so I got 10,000 black tulips, and I thought like this is going to be an enormous, like just a field of black tulips.
BTM, bro.
10,000 is a lot. And then we did the math, and the square footage is like, it's not that big. Like I feel like it's maybe twice the size of this room.
The tulip, the what? The
10,000 of them.
Oh, that's all it makes?
Yeah, because you plant them about 3 to 4 inches apart.
Aww.
So I feel like,
I guess they don't want to be far away from each other.
Yeah. So
we'll
we'll see.
Plants that were a little bit more like
spread out.
Yeah, or just like they're cool with kind of doing their own thing. I mean, apparently tulips are kind of like, I guess they get lonesome or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whatever it's called. I don't know what that would be like as a flower. Like what it.
Yeah. So we'll see. We have like, wildlife out there, and everybody in my Instagram was like, be careful because the squirrels are going to they're going to dig them up, or the moles. So we're hoping that by the time spring comes, they don't eat all of them. But
dude, if you had an OnlyFans of you just fighting moles, I think a lot of people would subscribe to it. I mean, I think you get a lot of the hunting audience,
How do you fight a mole, though?
I don't know. That's up to you, I think. But I think it would just be pretty fascinating to watch. Do you feel different being out of LA? What does that kind of feel like? Does it feel like, were you kind of done with entertainment? I mean, you've had a neat career and at least gotten to experience, certain things, like that's one thing about having a different opportunity. Sometimes at least you get to just experience what it's like, whether it was great or you didn't like it, you get experience,
Yeah. I mean, I haven't retired yet. So, I mean, I feel like you said, the beauty of being able to create and do things that you don't necessarily have to be in LA anymore. And so I think before you used to, I feel like you had to live in LA if you wanted to do things. But now it's like, I mean, I make music, so I can do that from my house. I don't need to, or I could fly in and record, or I don't necessarily have to live in Hollywood anymore.
Yeah, that's nice, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
What else can we think about?
So like, did you know that in the state of Indiana, like it's illegal to own a squirrel? I found this out because my son found like a little baby squirrel that had fallen out of a tree, and it happens a lot. Like squirrels fall out of trees and stuff, and this one was like barely breathing and really dehydrated. And I used to work at the California Wildlife Center and back in California, and so like rehabilitating squirrels is pretty easy. It's not like an owl or something.
Like, do you need two hands to do it, or you can do it with one hand? You probably need two hands to do it, huh?
Yeah, too, because you have to like feed them with this little like syringe thing.
Okay.
But so we rehabilitated him. My son named him Lucky. He's like the cutest thing ever. And then I got baptized, and then I got like a bunch of criticism about this baptism video. So I had to make this. I didn't have to, but I was inspired to make a video like calling out like judgmental Christians or whatever. And in that video, Lucky is just like flying behind me. He's just like running around, and somebody saw him and reported me to the animal control, and they showed up. Like the guy showed up with like a gun and everything. Was like, hey, do you guys have a squirrel? Like you can't have one, so we're gonna have to take it. And I'm like,
they put him in cuffs? No.
No, but I asked the guy, I was like, are you going to euthanize him? Because I know that's what you guys do. What are you going to, you're not going to house him. And they're like, yeah, it's going to get euthanized.
No, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So they took him out of a warm
No, of course
home.
They didn't take him.
Oh, you kept him.
I lied, and I told them I'm going to release him the next day.
Oh, cool.
And then we made like a little Instagram video like.
Of him leaving?
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have to tell anybody if he came back or not.
Yeah. Yeah. You got it.
Lucky lives elsewhere. Wow.
But
Dude, that's incredible.
Like, who would do that?
That's crazy.
So cruel.
Well, it's just also the weird, like, how legislation is so obtuse from like there's no intricacies a lot of times with like laws and rules, you know? It's just for this general thing. And so and they don't have any room to bend, a lot of these guys who come to, it's like they're just trying to do the
No, I was just more confused by who in their right mind would be like, oh, let me go and
report a squirrel.
Yeah.
Probably
a baby squirrel, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I would feel so perverted even reporting it.
Yeah.
Or I would just be like, hey, imagine that call. Like, hey, I'm not trying to be a snitch or whatever, like a branch snitch or whatever. Yeah. But there's a cat find he has a squirrel. Dude, they should, if they release that body cam footage, they have to release that call. That call, you should remix a beat to that call, and that you should make.
I wish they did have body cam footage.
One of the best house songs ever, dude. Get money, squirrel. Get money.
Well, the best was like it was my husband that opened the door, and he was like topless with like, and he's like fully tattooed with the squirrel on his shoulder.
Oh, well, then that didn't help.
Yeah.
People are trying to get this. They're trying to get this animal in M Squirrel 13 over here. Like there's not this bad stuff's going on out here. Yeah. So how did your journey go to like? I don't know if I want to call it a journey, but like, what role has religion like played in your life and stuff? Because I think we're at a time in the world. I think we're always at a time in the world, but I think it feels like a lot of people are looking for something that makes sense more. I feel like we're getting exhausted by the truth that a lot of the things that we feel like will make us feel good aren't doing it, I feel like that a lot of times. But what has some of that experience been like? I mean, if you got baptized, what kind of and was it like what do they do it in? What do they baptize you in?
Water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good, huh? Oh, here's your video right here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's pretty there, huh?
Yeah.
Upon your profession of faith in the Lord Jesus Christ, and in obedience to his divine command, I baptize you, my sister, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks. I still get teary-eyed when I see that.
That's cool. It's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that like in your life?
Yeah. What's it like?
Or how do you get there? Like, how do you get? Because I think a lot of people are lost. I feel lost a lot of times.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us feel that way. And so, how do you feel like you solved like you're lost?
Well, I mean,
or is that even a fair question? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I get what you're saying. I was brought up with Christianity in my childhood, and then I strayed. And so, like, in a nutshell, I just kind of in the last 5 years have like made my way back and have a different understanding than maybe when I was a kid. Because I think when you're a kid, you're like, or at least for me, it was like we just go to church because that's what we have to do. And I didn't have actual profound questions that I want answered like I do now. And so I think as an adult, you get to have a different understanding of that. And so that's kind of what, how I in a weird artsy way just kind of came back. And the last 5 years have just been studying the Bible, and now like at this church, like we have our women's Bible study and stuff that I attend, and
you guys have a meeting you go to, right? I watched another podcast that you were on.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I heard you talk about it anyway. That you guys have a Bible study each week.
Yeah. And I think I'm going to always have questions and continue to want to learn and have deeper understandings of things. And so, but in that podcast that you probably watched, like I talk about like a little bit what you said. It's like we're trying to find meaning or want to feel again, and I think there's a lot of temporary fixes or, I used to, like I was an addict and I'll have 17 years sober in July.
Wow.
And so, I feel like those are all things that kind of like lead you in that direction.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, it's such an intimate and personal thing. Like my relationship with God is my own. And I've never really felt like I belonged anywhere. Like, especially now, I think like being public with my faith puts you into like this microscopic critical tank, and so I get criticized from all sides now, which I don't care because at the end of the day, I'm my relationship's with God, not you, but
right.
But it is interesting. I feel like now it just becomes funny, like some of the comments I get.
Yeah.
I think because people have a hard time understanding the aesthetic and pairing that with something, which
your
is
aesthetic, you mean?
Yeah,
right. The ambiance of you and then pairing it
in Christianity, and it's so silly to me. And like I don't understand how people don't see how closed-minded that is, and how like why would you think that you have to look a certain way to have an understanding of the Bible,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, that's a good point too. I think it's a lot of that. There's a lot of interesting stuff there, you know.
Yeah, but like I do, but
I mean, there's a lot to think about in all of this.
yeah, for sure.
You know.
Like one time I went to like a Jordan Peterson lecture, and my husband and I were like the only people that looked like us there. But I was
Black people, you mean?
what?
You mean black people?
No, we don't. I just like, and I don't want to diss on like Jordan's fan base, but I feel like everybody had their own uniform, you know, like there was just rows of people in front of me and they all kind of dressed the same.
Really, yeah.
And I was like, man, for people, and I'm not judging or criticizing, but you would think that like free thinkers would, or maybe they just don't care. I don't know.
Or maybe there's just only so many stores too where you can. I mean, I feel like it's a lot of Johnson and guys who like are sad. Like, I don't know. I'm a Jordan Peterson fan, but I'm like, I think it's a lot of like there's, you know, it's a lot of lost boys, but who have who can comprehend well enough.
Yeah.
You know, because otherwise, lost boys who can't comprehend, they kind of. You know, they listen to maybe Hooba Stank or whatever, you know. But I think if you get or hey, come out and fight. Remember that song? You gotta keep them separated.
Oh yeah, Offspring.
Offspring, yeah. Dude, yeah. So a lot of like, yeah. If you are a lost boy who can't communicate as well as you'd like to sometimes, and this is a judgment, but you probably have owned an Offspring album. And then if you are a different version, then it's sometimes Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could not imagine seeing, it would be like playing Where's Waldo if I saw you at a Jordan Peterson concert. So that's interesting. But that's awesome that you guys went and you found like
So my whole point was just that I feel like maybe we pigeonhole ourselves, right? Like I feel like everybody kind of like I went to this. Like, so the church I go to is like a really small church, and it's there's not enough people to have a running trend or anything like that. But when I went to like a big church in California recently, I looked around and it's like a lot of people have the same style, and so I realized that maybe because like modern day Christians are so used to being surrounded by people that look the same as them, when someone like me comes into the mix, it's like, oh wait, this is demonic, or this is because I get called demonic a lot, or this is like, you know, you're serving two masters, and I'm like, I don't think any of that is accurate. You know, I don't think you have to. There's no dress code to be a Christian.
Yeah.
There's like
oh, that's baffling to me.
Yeah, but I get it a lot. Like I just recently posted my last post was just I thought was like a very cool, like modest image of me, like in a dress and some funny shoes, and I just the comments are just hilarious. It's just
people like Satan's gonna bring you home, and just things like that's crazy.
Yeah.
I guess there's all levels of everything. Like even if you get into like the Christian, like if you like
I thought I was gonna get hate from my existing fans, you know, like just people who are
like feel like you could be a deserter or something, or maybe people that are fans of yours that don't have a religion or aren't Christians or something, that they would have a thought about it.
And no, they've been super loving and open-minded, and I love that, you know. But it's been the other side that I was just so surprised. But
wow, yeah, you know, it's like I think there's a lot of like interesting stigmas with Christianity. I guess like I like religion, right? I like I don't know if I care what religion people are.
Yeah,
you know, I think I wish I knew more about some of the religions. You know, I probably prefer Christianity for myself.
Yeah.
Because that's what I know the most.
Yeah.
And or I would say that I prefer God. That's the term I like to use. And most of my belief started through AA, through alcohol, through going to 12-step meetings. It was like the first time I ever like started to get like an understanding of like starting to build a relationship with God and talking to God and feeling like that if I think or feel something, that there's something on the other side of the universe that hears it or cares about it, right? And that it blew my mind, dude, because you know, I've been electrocuted a couple times, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I never had a feeling like this. It's not like being electrocuted. It's just like feeling like.
Wait, what do you mean? You've been electrocuted?
Yeah, I've been electrocuted, dude. I've been electrocuted. Yeah, I mean, I guess a handful of times or whatever. Yeah, I guess. One time I got electrocuted at a carnival when I was young. I got electrocuted. 3 years ago, I was walking behind a food truck, and they had a plug-in, a big joint plug-in, and I stepped right on it, and it just, you know, dude, I wasn't. It was like the opposite of being baptized, I think. You know, it was uncomfortable. But I like thinking about God.
Mm-hmm.
I love thinking about it now.
Yeah.
You know, I was just asking God this morning just to help me, just to help give me some better direction in my life, you know?
Yeah.
And help me with a few things I've been struggling with. Like, I've been struggling to quit vaping, right? So I don't want to vape. And so it's just been so hard. And I realized, like, I'm an addict.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, dude, I will wake up in the middle of the night and, like, see if there's vape places open and stuff. And then some assholes started stay open in 24 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
cigarettes was the hardest for me.
Really?
Oh my gosh, I love smoking.
Yeah.
I love cigarettes. But I just can't, I don't want to be that mom. Like,
well, it became my God. Like, vaping became my higher power in a lot of ways. Like, if I have an uncomfortable thought, feeling, moment, whatever, let me hit this thing.
yeah.
So I realized, oh, this is the thing. I'm serving this, like,
Yeah.
whether I want to have a higher power, whatever I want it to be.
Yeah.
This is whatever. I am serving this thing. I show up whenever the little, like, a ping goes off inside of me, I show up for this thing. That's crazy.
Yeah, my life revolved around smoking too, and it's funny because you start like treating it as like little treats. Like, I would be tattooing, and I'd be like, "All right, I'll just get through like 2 hours, and then I get a treat." And then, you know, you get these little breaks and stuff, and then. But then everything, like, life becomes an inconvenience, at least for me. I've never talked about this before, by the way. Like, I feel like usually when I talk about like sobriety and stuff, you're talking about like drugs, but cigarettes were the hardest. I mean, I love the ritual of it. I love the smell, like leather jackets and cigarettes to me is like so sexy.
Sam Elliott in The Mask. Have you seen him in that?
No.
Was Cher, remember in that movie?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking the other mask.
Yeah. I wish Sam Elliott was in that one too.
Yeah.
I like Sam Elliott.
Me
I mean,
too.
I don't like him like I like him, but I like him.
Yeah.
But people don't talk enough about that.
It's so, I mean, all of it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like 2 packs a day.
What?
For like till recently. Like,
Pax Von D, huh? That's crazy, dude. 2 packs a day. You're lucky you look so lovely still after having smoked that
I
much.
know. Yeah. True. And not I know. I mean, like,
But no, it's a yeah, it's like, that's fortunate.
you see some people that are just like, yeah.
Some people look like they start to eventually, they look like the inhale that they take off a cigarette. They're just like, you know, like their whole, they're just like,
Yeah.
you know, it's.
But if I see people doing drugs in movies, I just instantly get like sick to my stomach. I'm like, "Ooh," I just like the idea of doing drugs again is like, I'm beyond that. But if I see somebody smoking a cigarette, I'm like, man, like, I still have that in, like, I can't cheat on that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, I stopped at dude, this is the saddest story. I remember kind of milling around a high school to see if some kid was vaping after school one day when we were.
And vaping's so not cool. Like, that's the one that's like, I'm like, why? Just smoke a cigarette. Like, why would you? It's like so like steampunk, like with your little things.
Oh, yeah, that's the dumbest, dude. The steampunks are the craziest about
Like
it, though.
they're like putting together, assembling. Like, it's so weird. Just get a cigarette and be a man.
God, I didn't know that I was such a loser till right now. But I'm okay. This might be the conversation I need that helps me. I just didn't. But there's some the people they put this.
Yeah.
They like crank it and they make their own vape or whatever. They like add vanilla seasoning. Or it's like they have a machine and there's a tumble dry setting on it. I'm like, what? These are the guys that are doing. This is a guy. Let's play that. Can we play that? Let's see one of these. Yeah, the people that blow the smoke and they what
Yeah.
like there's team like a guy.
You don't do any of that?
I don't do it. No, this guy's out of his mind. This guy has a 12 gauge vape. Oh my God, this guy's wife is missing. There's no reason to need that much nicotine unless you did something bad. Look at that. This guy's a damn motor in it. But the craziest ones are the competitions. It's almost like it's one of those dog shows now. It's like the guy will blow a big smoke ring and then his wife will like run and jump through it. It's like, what is this shit? It just, anyway, but it's hard.
It is.
It's hard. And I think since I don't have a family or anything that I constantly need to address, then
I feel like I probably wouldn't have quit if I didn't have a
Really?
son. Yeah. I mean, the minute I got pregnant, like I got the plus sign, that was the day I quit.
no.
And then I started again after I had my son. Not right away, but like
And were you hiding and doing it?
no.
Fuck yeah.
No, but I
That's
like
pretty awesome that you weren't.
no, I mean I never would post like you'll be hard pressed to find there's very few photos of me smoking online, but
Yeah.
But then when my son was 2, because I had my little smoking nook outside, and he came out. My son came. He learned how to open doors, and he came out. I was like, "Mommy, mommy," and he's like, "What's that smell?" And I just felt like such a loser. I was like, I can't be that mom. So
Yeah. Oh, I would hate that being that dad. What's that smell? It's like, oh, it's cranberry lime crush or whatever.
Is that your flavor?
Ice or whatever. Yeah, whatever. No, I prefer watermelon lemon, and sometimes I'll do watermelon lemon mango if they don't have the one that I like. But it's like, it's sad. It's all pretty sad, I think. And the guy knows me, huh? He calls me big boy when I walk in there. That's the worst part. And he's like, kind of like he's Hispanic or like Egyptian or something. He's like, "What's up, big boy?" That's what he says every time I go in there, dude. And this is the saddest part. I will buy it, hit it a few times, and then throw it away so I don't hit it anymore.
And then you have to buy it again.
And then I'll go later on that day and buy it again.
Oh, I was just like, I would just buy cartons. I just buy cartons.
Cartons?
Yeah.
You buy a boatload. You'd be out
Yeah.
there like on the Ohio River, like flagging down.
I buy cartons, and then one of my biggest pet peeves was like when people would ask to like bum a cigarette.
Why you have a carton?
Well, yeah, but I'm averaging one every 30 minutes. I don't have a spare. Like, why would you do that? Like, just go buy your own.
There's some famous comedy duos out there, baby. Tom and Jerry, Ricky and Morty, Buzz and Tony, or I don't remember the other guy's name, but there's a lot of great comedy duos. What about the perfect duo when it comes to growing your business? That's you and Shopify. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits for the outdoors, Shopify helps you sell everywhere, from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Theo. All lowercase. That's right. Go to shopify.com/THEO lowercase now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Theo. I've had a frustrating time buying tickets. You don't know if there's enough in the zone, or you don't know if the price that they say is exactly what you're going to pay. Well, Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and other events near you. That's right. Game Time offers last-minute tickets, flash deals, and zone deals. Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code WEEKEND for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code WEEKEND for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. If you have struggled with your mentality, your brain, your thinking, your process, I had a friend recently tell me, hey, man, I think I'm not associating to the world like I used to. And I said, well, that's okay, man. I think I've been there, and I think you can get some help. And now he is getting help for himself. BetterHelp, they can be the go-to for you. That's right. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Visit betterhelp.com/Theo today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/THEO.
That's how I was when I would do drugs too. Like I remember in the beginning, it was like fun party time. You're out with your friends, and then the minute that I realized like, oh no, this is mine, I would just start doing drugs by myself.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, like
That was it.
Like no sharing because there's so many freeloaders.
Yeah, and I was one of them, first of all, and I'd finally gotten some drugs. So the last thing, it's finally time I get to freeload off myself, you know? But yeah, I would go home, I would get cocaine, I would go home and just do it by myself. And it would be sad.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was the saddest, man.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why. But yeah, people do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think through like going to 12-step meetings is where I started to build a relationship with a higher power and really believe in one. Before that, I just never had it presented to me in a way that felt I don't know, that it like meshed, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's important. I think is how it comes into your life too, you know, a lot of times.
Yeah.
And I just like having higher power. I like having an invisible friend that I like having an invisible friend.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I came from the school of thought where, you know, you have to be like empowered and, you know, just believe in yourself and all this idea that, you know, it's kind of almost like self-worship. And I think in AA, you know, they do talk about that where it's like that, you know, you can't do this on your own. And I think taking that to like the bigger picture part of it, where it's not just with addiction, that for me, I'm like, I've definitely surrendered to that. And I don't think there's anything wrong to, you know, to humble yourself and be like, I can't do this on my own. And so it's kind of where I, you know, landed, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the part I struggle with a lot. Sometimes it's just on a daily basis, like turning my will over to God, you know, turning my will over to a higher power. Like, you know, I pray every day but I know that it's a relationship that I want to be stronger in my life, you know. I can feel it all the time, like me just wanting like a stronger relationship.
Yeah.
And then one thing I liked about churches was just the sense of community or you know, religious places people meet up, worship centers. Was just the sense of people doing something together. Kids being able to do like Sunday school or whatever, and you go in the back and you know, you back there, everybody's like making little arts or whatever. And I like that. I like that sense of community. I think it was good probably for communities to have some shared meeting space. And I think churches and religious worship centers used to be that more in America. You know, I don't know what it's like in the rest of the world, but
I love that community. I personally love, like, I look forward to my Sundays, and we do like we do choir practice on Thursdays, and like I definitely feel I mean, I think because we have a small church, which I think is a good thing, like when people are missing, like they're, you know, when they go out of town or like they're missed, you know, like I feel like I genuinely miss my church family when I'm in LA or whatever.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yes, it's cool. I've never really had that before. And I'm not that kind of person either. Like I don't like group therapy. I don't like communal seating at restaurants. Like I like lone wolf, you know? Yeah. But where I have found my little, I guess, tribe, whatever.
No, it's fair.
Yeah.
Well, I think there used to be a lot more of that. I mean, there's even that book by Sebastian Younger, I think it's called Tribe, maybe, where, it was about that. It was about when we were in smaller groups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And people used to, you would miss somebody, they'd be gone. It's like, otherwise you get so caught up with so many things and your space gets too big and it's hard to know. It's hard to pay attention.
Yeah.
It's hard to connect, or you're trying to connect to too many things, and people feel like, that's part of it. We're just trying to connect to too many things. I don't think our system is built for that a lot of times.
Yeah.
So I think it's nice, I bet, having a place where you notice if somebody's gone.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's cool.
It's important. I think it's important for us.
Yeah.
What was it like when did you think you really had an addiction problem? What was that like?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was like a big time
drug user?
Loser, yeah.
Loser, yeah, that's fine.
No, I mean, I'm like a quick learner, so it's not like I'm never casual about anything. So it's like, what starts off as innocent and just experimentational turns into like my entire existence.
Yeah, wow.
So, and that part of my personality I've managed to change over the years too. Like I've grown up a little bit more,
Like in what part of it you mean?
Well, because I think before when I looked at like my relationships, when I looked at like just everything has to be in excess, and now I'm like a little more balanced. Did you ditch the jacket?
Yeah, I just took my jacket off because I don't know if I'm getting warm or not, or I don't know if I'm just feeling like if something's wrong with me. I feel fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to faint. I don't feel like sick. I was like, do I still want to have a jacket on? And so I just took action, I guess, I think faith is just so interesting. I think it used to be probably a long time ago, people had to have more faith because there wasn't like your television screen was almost like the sky or it was like watching nature. Like if you wanted to watch the nature channel, you had to go outside.
Yeah.
Like you already lived outside. So you got to just look, it was like, I think we're so much more connected probably to the universe. And I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's interesting what religion is like. And some people say that it's bad for people, that people call it like the opiate of the masses. You hear people say that. And, but I don't know. I
think there's bad representations of everything, I mean, there's like certainly bad representations of people in AA, like I always had a hard time going to AA because I just couldn't stand a lot of the people, to be honest. And that, and also like, I just feel like it was never really anonymous, especially in LA. Like people go there as a scene, like you would go and it's like, so-and-so was at a meeting or I remember I was going with a friend and then someone like took a picture of us like from, the back or whatever and posts like, man, like, it's like my friend's trying to get through something and then, it's like this unnecessary attention or the worst would be comedians like that would show up and they would speak and they're just like practicing their.
Really?
Yeah. It's like the worst. The worst. I'm like,
this is why I vape. At least now I have somebody to blame it on. But no, I'll say this. You know what? There is some things about that make people feel uncomfortable. I try to go to meetings and share as honestly as I can. And
that's cool.
But it's sometimes, that part I'm able to get over. Like if somebody hears something I'm thinking or feeling about, because that sometimes was a hang up for me a little bit. Like, if people started to recognize it made me feel like scared, I think a lot of times.
I mean, it all helps and it all doesn't. I mean, I feel like if it inspires somebody to keep coming, that's cool too. But you don't want that somebody's sobriety hinged on that. And I think there's also, it's like churches. There's some that are mega churches that are, preaching weird gospel and then there's smaller ones that are not or whatever. I think it's like, because I know there's meetings that are much more private and like, it's not a scene or a dating scene or something,
Yeah.
But
A is interesting though. I think it's interesting A is interesting. But then also you're like, well, this is why I'm here. Sometimes it depends on my attitude. If I'm in a good mood that day, it's like I don't care.
Yeah.
But there was a meeting in Las Vegas recently where a guy was like kind of filming like himself like with me in the background, and that made me
yeah.
I mean, I spoke up for myself and I asked him what was going on. But it was just some of that stuff's a little bit weird.
Yeah, it's
But-
to be
But then you're like, well, yeah, I don't know. But I love going to meetings.
Yeah.
That I really like.
yeah,
I thought it was super helpful.
that's good.
I was trying to think of something else with faith that we could talk about.
You want to talk about that stuff more?
Is it okay with you?
Yeah.
Oh, I love thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of people on that I guess that we talk about it with as
Yeah.
much.
I'm probably the worst person because I'm not like a studied,
Oh, I don't know anything
Yeah.
about like the history of it. I mean, I know that I know about the family in the woods. I know they had the apple. I know one of the sons killed the other one. So things got a little hectic right out of the gate, but there's a lot of like the specific, I don't know a lot of the logistics,
Yeah.
So I think I wouldn't, that part I don't know about.
Yeah.
But I just think about feelings and stuff.
Yeah.
I like thinking about that kind of stuff.
Some of that is intuitive too. I feel like, like there's parts of, I think there's like some things that are like ingrained in us that you can't really explain, like it doesn't feel good to harm somebody, things like that,
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, but then it's interesting how that kind of stuff happens in the world sometimes,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
but I think, and then people go, well, if is it
why
okay?
would God let that happen?
Yeah.
I don't
I'm gonna
think
take
that's
my
what
shoes
God
off. Is that okay?
Yeah, for sure.
But
That's
just
fine.
don't get a shot of it because that's gross. I hate when people do that. I just want to do this.
I won't. I don't even have my phone on me.
Okay.
Oh, but yeah, well, we
Yeah,
can blur them
yeah.
out.
No, you don't have to blur it. But
Okay.
yeah, but I think sometimes people want to blame God when it's bad and not for the good stuff. But I think you look at like, I always think like we're human, we sin, we're capable of making mistakes and we have free will to make, good and bad choices. So it's like, yeah, of course there's going to be evil in this world. Like, but I don't think God would be the one to blame, you still have to take accountability for your actions, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And it's a shame that bad things do happen to a lot of good people and innocent people. That's the way of the world,
Yeah, I think that's always been there throughout time. I don't think God is like a specific instance to instance type of like landlord or whatever you want to, leader,
Yeah.
or champion or whatever. Some people call him different names, but I think of him more as just this I like to think of his view of us as like a general energy, more like it's just something that's always there. No matter even if things are horrible, it's there. And if things are good, it's there. It's almost like this, it's like this code or something that kind of fits to whatever you need it to be. I don't really think of it as like too much of like a rigid thing. So yeah, I guess I wouldn't blame God. Like if something horrible happened, I don't know if I would take it to God. I would just be like, that's what we do here, unfortunately, in the world. I might talk to God to try and have understanding, and maybe I would blame him and he would let me blame him. That's one of the things he does. He just lets you blame him. That I don't know. I like thinking about this though. Some of it's interesting,
Yeah.
because it's like, how do we, and I don't know if our brains can conceptualize everything. Like we only have 5 senses,
Yeah.
I was just talking to my buddy about this the other day. Like, dude, we only have 5 senses.
Yeah.
That's not that many, dude.
A lot can be done with that though.
Huh?
A lot can be done with that.
No. And look, people are doing a great
No,
job.
but you're right.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like parts of my brain that can't comprehend the concepts of time. You know what I mean? But we just try our best to get through that. Like I think about like the story of Job in the Bible. Like that one is even if you look at it not literally, but like where like Job was this guy, and I'm gonna just paraphrase it. Obviously,
Totally paraphrase. And look, if anybody judges somebody for paraphrasing out of the Bible, dude, we're not pastors,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we're
Exactly.
just 2 people sitting somewhere trying our best to be alive in the universe.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
But thanks. But like Job was put through all of these trials and all of the worst things that you can imagine happening to one person, and through it he just maintained his faith. And even at a point where even at one point his wife was like, "Come on, are you serious? Like how can you still like praise God when you're losing your children, you're losing everything we've had, and now you're sick and covered in boils and on the brink of death, and he's just like, praise God, And I feel like a lot of times through my decades of tattooing people and hearing like the worst and saddest stories, like
Oh yeah.
just, I was kind of known for doing a lot of portraits. And so I would do portraits of people, their loved ones who have passed, or, their loved ones who inspired them, things like that. And you just hear some of the most heart-wrenching stuff that like, I can't even begin to imagine like how you're still walking, but they still find a way, and I feel like that's like, I want to be like Job in that sense, because like the last few years for me have been so rough, like behind the curtains, and I don't share I'm not the type of person that goes on Instagram and cries, but it's like, we suffer quietly through things, and we like, no one has a perfect life, and, but I'm still going to live in a state of gratitude, and I'm still going to be like excited to be here sitting with you today, and it's like, the world could be falling apart, and I'm still like, I praise God,
Yeah. Yeah, it gives you hope, I think.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I think I don't know. I mean, I love that. Yeah, and we do also, it is interesting how we suffer quietly, huh?
Yeah. I mean, some suffer loudly like a dick, but.
Oh, yeah. Like my freaking neighbor's dog. That thing's not even suffering, and but it's loud.
Yeah. But it's all going to be okay.
Yeah, I think that's what God is to a lot of people. It's like, I would way rather have hope
Me too.
than to not have it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like, and I don't know. I've just felt God. Like,
Same.
it was the only thing I could say it was.
Yeah.
Because one time I was smoking a bunch of menthols, actually going back to cigarettes, but my girlfriend had broken up with me, and I was about to just, peel my skin off of my body and feed it to something, and I wasn't doing real well, and I was just really doing real bad just on the inside. I was just, and I swear it's crazy, but I felt like something literally just like put like a big hand went around my heart. And I started to feel better. But I felt like it really felt like that, which is...
Same, yeah. I had the exact same feeling.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird. And I don't really talk about it because then you sound all like...
Oh,
cuckoo,
I don't give a fuck. People know I'm batshit. We're doing our best.
Yeah.
If anybody thinks, that they think I know anything about God, like any exact low-key BTS information about the Lord, they're out of their effing mind. And if they think they do too, then they're out of their effing mind. I just am trying to think out loud and feel out loud with somebody.
Yeah.
Is that what that, but you had something similar?
Yeah, where I felt like a hand, like just kind of wrapping me in warmth, and I just had this feeling of surrendering to it, where I was just like, oh man, like it's gonna be fine, and it's not me just being like, oh, I'll tell myself until like no, like I had like a clear understanding that like you got me,
Yeah,
it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's interesting too for me is that I've even taken my own will back so many times since then.
Yeah.
And that's the tough thing. I think that's where I want to get more into like just my morning routine. It's just like turning just thy will be done, you know? Because then it just takes all the pressure off of me. It takes all the pressure off of me to like feel like I have to make everything okay, or that I got to make everybody okay, or that I have.
What are those pressures? Like what? Like
I don't know. I think I just feel. I've always felt like I'm running late for something. I've felt that my whole life. Like if I don't keep doing more, then I'm not enough. Or like if I don't do, I think I felt as a kid, like if I don't do something, like I just wasn't seen. My mother didn't really look at me, right? And so I think I felt like I have to be perfect. If I'm not, the only way I have a chance of being seen is if I'm perfect, And if I'm not like perfect, then I just don't have a chance to be seen, And it makes me sad to think that a kid would think that, you know. But I think that's how I felt, I think. And I'm not blaming my mother, I think, or my father, I don't know what their lives were like, but I just remember, like, as I've gotten older, I've been able to recognize that. Like, man, that's what you were feeling for so long. I felt like I always needed to go do something to try and make myself better so that I was enough.
Same. Yeah.
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 To be seen, you know?
Yeah.
So I think when I say, yeah, thy will be done, it's like just letting like none of that matter. It does. Everything's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like no matter how you are, if you're good or bad, or if you're not doing your best, if you're not even not if you're not even trying, really. I feel like you should try.
Yeah.
But just that everything is, you're just not alone, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think I've always had a tough time like letting people love me, you know?
Really?
Yeah. It's been really, really tough. Like
in relationships or something?
yeah, I think that muscle just wasn't built up when I was a child with my mother. And so I just have had a tough time with it. And so I think the interesting thing about through 12-step for me has just been trying to build some relationship. Or it's the first time that I've kind of have really let somebody into my life.
Yeah.
Is in my negotiations with God, kind
Yeah.
of. And I hate to call them that, but that's kind of, you know,
That makes sense though.
like how much am I willing to turn myself over to that somebody else is gonna be with me, you know,
Yeah.
even if I'm not enough, or if I don't feel like I'm enough for
Yeah.
them to keep me around,
Yeah.
you know. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, I know it's a lot
don't
of
apologize.
stuff, but
No.
yeah, I think I
had this scenario this last week when I was in LA actually, where you know, I had this makeup line for 12 years and it did really great. And then at one point I got a bunch of backlash and I ended up having to like really like sit with myself and figure out like what I want to do with my life, if I want to keep up this fight of like, I mean, I don't know, there's like contractually things that I can't talk about anymore, but when I sold my makeup line, I had to sit there in a meeting with the production company and lawyers and stuff, and I remember I just wanted to like shut it down. Like, let's just let it go. Like, I don't want to do this anymore, you know? And they were like, but I think they saw there's profits to be made and stuff. And so, in order to buy me out, like, you know, there was negotiations. And
Right.
at one point, and I was always very fair about things. I wasn't asking for, you know, the world. And I remember at one point, this guy, this old man with like this balding old man with a potato nose, alcoholic potato nose, like looked me in the eyes and told me, "You're not worth anything anymore." Like, and those words and his voice like haunt me still, even though I know it's not like this guy's telling me what's cool. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and I know it was just like a leveraging point to whatever, try to give me as little as possible, but so I when I go to LA, I like, this is one thing that I do complain about where I'm at in Indiana, is that there's no places to work out. And I actually like, it's good for my health to work out every day.
yeah.
So when I go to LA, I'll fly in and then I just go to Barry's boot camp where I just have a bunch of people yelling at me to run faster. And so, but if you've ever been to like a Barry's workout, it's like there's no talking. And that's another thing I like about it. You just go, you work out, and then in between, like you do like floor work, and then you have to switch to the treadmill, right? And in between that, you switch. And so we're right about to switch, and I'm just sitting there like, and this guy's voice gets in my head. I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and it's just like you're not worth anything anymore. And I'm like, what am I doing with my life? And I was like on the verge of tears. And right at that moment, this like blonde girl just comes up to me and was like, "Hey, Kat, really quick, I just want to tell you, I think you're so amazing." And I just like lost it. Like,
Wow.
And then she just went on her treadmill and like went, you know, and I
yeah.
didn't see her again. And I was like, man, I know it's not, this is the part where you should blame God for like these beautiful divine like moments where it's like, man, you sent this girl like to me just to say like a few little words that like just changed my, you know, and I was just like so grateful in that moment. I like went back home after that workout and I just went to my husband. I was like, this girl just changed my life, you know? And he was just like, yeah, why are you even listening to that? I'm like, I know. And that was like years ago. And I just still like, you know, I don't know what part of me, and it's probably my childhood stuff where, you know, I don't know yours, but mine was like constantly seeking validation through my mom, you know, like that wasn't there. And it's like, and you know, I've gone to like years of therapy to like fix myself and stuff. So I'm not where I was before, but before I was like definitely like, oh yeah, like I need to do more. There's not enough. Like there's so much I want to do that it hurts. And it's just like, and it doesn't really matter if you have like a sea of people that are like cheering you on. At the end of the day, it's like, it's just all in here, you know? But yeah, it's crazy to see it in real time now. I feel like ever since I got to this place that I am now, like with my faith, like I start seeing it in real time all the time, where it's like God's just kind of diving in and being like, cut that shit out, like, you know. But I don't think it's ever gonna go away though. You know?
Yeah, and that childhood stuff and all that kind of like, I don't suffer from that stuff every day.
No, me either.
Right?
It just creeps in sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes people, you know, they're like, man, you seem like, you know, I'm like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know, but it's still a part of me that lives inside of me, you know, and sometimes there's still like, I notice there's a lot of feelings. Like I never got to have feelings when I was a kid. I didn't know. I was always in some type of mode of like, I need to be like seen. I need to make sure my mother sees me, so I'll be fed, just taking care, you know, whatever. So so at that point, you're not developing any other feelings except for like, you know.
Yeah. Like a stress.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I think, but I think the first time I've ever really been able to have some sort of a even discussion of a relationship in my life has been through recovery and through the introduction of God that way, because it was like you get to choose your own God, right? Yeah. And I've just chosen the most common God that I know, and the one that I, you know, friends, families would take me to church and stuff, and so and that's fine for me, you know. It's but I think a lot of that's interesting. Yeah, man, I can't believe what gets me is that somebody would even want to work in a job where debating or negotiating for money is worth even the value of saying something like that to someone. Yeah. That's the sickest part of the world.
I mean, it worked. I definitely was like questioning myself in that moment and was like, maybe I should just settle, you know? And it's like, you know, but lessons learned. I think everything turned out the way it was supposed to anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
but that's a lot of LA. It's like you almost have to hire sick people to deal with other sick people and some of that. And it's like, you know, but that's the nicest thing about being out of there, I think, is having some semblance of, like, I don't have a manager. I don't know.
I've simplified my life too. It's crazy. And a lot of these things have just, because, you know, I've been so used to being in this little bubble where it's like, having the assistants and the managers and all this stuff. And then it's like, we move out here and I was like, I don't want to bring a compound of people over here. And, you know, we had a nanny, for example, like, and, you know, I wasn't blessed with a very close family. So when I had my son, it's not like I had a village of family that was helping us out. Like it was just me and my husband by ourselves. And it's fine, you know, we can do it. But then I ended up hiring a nanny who was like family to us, you know, and she would just come from 9 to 5 so that I could do all my work during the day. And then once we moved out here, it was like, I was kind of like left alone, and I was like, man, this is actually cool being a full-time mom. I know it sounds so dumb to say that out loud, but like it's just me 100% of the time instead of having somebody help. And I think it's made me obviously a better mom. But you realize like with less is sometimes easier. It's definitely less complicated, you know, like my life is definitely like, I let go of publicists and all that stuff. I mean, we'll definitely hire, like when I have an album launch and stuff, I'll put together a team and we do things, but in general, like I'm not dealing with a sea of people anymore. And it is definitely liberating. And it feels like just, there's just more benefits to it, I think. Like even when you guys hit me up and stuff, it's like I used to be like, oh yeah, I'll just let so and so handle. And I'm like, that's cool. I'll just drive myself here, you know, like, because Southern Indiana is not that far from here, and I'm like, my son and my husband, we took a little road trip, you know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then it's just like it's just easier that way, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And these days, it's like I don't want somebody fielding something that has no idea what my interests are.
Yeah.
Or what, you know, they may have some idea what my interests are, but they're not going to make the choices.
Yeah.
It's almost like a lot of that whole world is built on this shell system that you need somebody to help you be a human, you know? But these days, a lot of like people don't even believe a lot of stuff in the press. Nobody takes
I don't believe any of it. Like,
it's all it's all a bunch of fucking SoundCloud rap.
Yeah.
You know? It's like a lot of fucking
I mean, if anything, usually if I see like certain headlines, especially with my friends, I'm like, well, you already know the truth behind things, and I'm like, oh, like I'll be more like my first thought is to be like, oh, it's probably the opposite.
Yeah.
Of whatever it is out there. But I feel like, do people still fall for it now? Probably.
I don't know. If you don't think that, I mean, there's just so, like, I have friends, it's like, who was my friend the other day was telling me that there's some celebrity that they pay a couple grand or something, and then the people show up and take pictures of them, and then it's going to be in some tabloids, but it's all set up, and none of it's like, it's all for show.
Yeah.
None of it's not real.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
yeah.
And it's like, people will come out with a brand and then they'll call their friend in a magazine and they're like, hey, can you say that this brand is amazing? And then their friend writes an article, says the brand is amazing. And we don't even know if the brand, it's just like, so much of it is, it's just valueless.
Yeah.
Because it's not true.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's the thing, is just trying to sort out what's true. And I think that's what we're all trying to do. I think a lot of times just in our own lives even, is like, well, what do I really think or feel? What's true, you know? I think that's something I've had an interesting time. So
I mean, I think that's one of the reasons I've always loved you and everything you do, is like there's a level of authenticity. And it's like earlier we were talking about style and stuff, and I'm like, I love your style because it's just you're effortlessly doing it whatever you like, you know? Or unless there's a lot of effort, I don't know.
I mean, it took a while to stand there and be like, I don't know if this is okay. But I try to wear that black coat because I know you like black stuff.
I love that.
I wish I could be as brave as you, I think. I
Really?
did think that's the reddest lipstick I've ever seen in my life. But it's kind of a nice Christmas color, too.
Wait, what do you mean brave?
I think it's just brave to
you
like
mean to put this on?
to be like, because I remember when I was in junior high school, my friend Matt Chenevert, he was like, he was a neat guy, and his brother played in a band. And I don't want to say the band was bad, but the band was probably had a unique sound.
Okay.
Okay, so, and their name was like, shuddering, like it was something crazy, you know, like Desperate Victim or something, you know, like definitely. Like the name of the band was, one guy was playing the drums, but he was just fucking shaking with anger so much, and he had the sticks in his hand, and he was just keeping some type of a vague wooden to metal falsetto. And it was just, that's who they were, you know. But so I would go sometimes and try to be like, and I would listen to like Blind Melon and like fucking.
Blind Melon is like the one that.
All I can say is that my life. But they somehow rolled. I guess they weren't goth, but they were kind of hippie.
No.
I don't know if we had goth. Maybe we had one dude. Oh yeah, goth was different. Sorry, these were just kind of like.
Blind Melon's like the opposite.
Yeah, these were just kind of like violent hippies.
Okay, all right.
So that's kind of the group I was in for a little while, was this violent hippie group. And then, but yeah, the goth kids would wear like those shoes that were like. And then
Frankenstein.
Yeah. But they had to wait till everybody left to walk back because it was like such an uncomfortable walk sometimes. She's like, why are those goth kids still hanging out by the tree over there? Like,
they're always in the trees. It's weird. There's
really
even a
were.
website, I think it was called Goths and Trees. And there's like a fascination with like goth people that are like in trees. I've never felt the feeling calling, but I don't know. There's a lot of them. Yeah,
That's cool.
It's a thing. So go on.
There it is, goths and trees right there. Let's look at a few of them.
They all hang out. I mean, that guy's not that goth.
Yeah, that guy definitely.
There's this
Oh,
one.
that guy
Yeah,
is
look.
goth, dude.
Yeah, and they all hang out in trees. I don't understand.
Ooh, there is something very Edgar Allan Poe about it. You know?
Because of a raven?
I
Or-
think so. Now, this lady seems like,
it's a thing. I've never done it.
let's see more. This is fascinating. Wow.
I know, that's
now,
what
that
I'm
guy is
saying.
goth, yeah.
Look, they're inside trees. It's weird.
I wonder if there's something about it that feels good to him.
To our species.
Yeah, I could see it. Now, this is really interesting.
She brought props.
Oh, yeah, she's a Sith.
Or scythe or
Is it Scythe?
I-
She's a Scythe. Oh, wow. Yeah, these are goths on
in trees. In a tree house or
yeah, it looks like a treehouse or a zip line. Goths on zip line would be good too. But I love this. This is really fascinating.
yeah.
I used to love when there was some dope Tumblr pages out there.
I
That was
know.
fun, wasn't it?
Yeah. But wait, you were gonna get to the point where so you had the friends that were in the band and
Yeah, but and I thought I was goth, but I wasn't. I guess we would just like listen to like Skinny Puppy or different bands
Yeah.
like Epilepsy Lizard or some kind of shit like that. And then, that was it. That was about as kind of as goth as I get. But I was always marveled at the people that could go full Darkwing Duck. Like people
I like that Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, I think the people that like could be like, whoa,
Yeah.
like this person, like how did they get to school? Did they flew here themselves? Like that type of. I think there was something like interesting about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was always like there's such an allure, I think, about that sort of woman. Or
Yeah.
I would probably say woman more because
Yeah.
I think it's like there's something interesting about a goth person. What is it? What is it about goth people? Why is it?
Like the loose screws probably
Or what is it? Like why do they what is like the calling towards like is there like a
Yeah.
code of conduct or something?
I mean, there's got to be some childhood stuff, right? I mean, I know for me, I like I said, I never felt a sense of belonging even within my own family unit. So I remember discovering music and then not necessarily seeing myself, but like there was a reflection of emotions happening. Like when I love The Cure and Susie and the Banshees, Depeche Mode, and I think like lyrically and just like this the soul to it, I feel like a lot of people are sensitive in that sense, but and then they just like take it to the to the outward expression of that. But I don't know. I just like it. I've always
Maybe that's it. Maybe like a way to be seen too, because I guess it was an outlier. Like I grew up in a small town, so
but it's kind of not because like
right, because you have your own group then. Like, is that what you mean?
well, I mean, I don't know.
I'm not judging. I'm just looking at it. I'm like, it's just
Like it's
interesting.
funny. Like even this morning when I was getting ready, I was like, I feel like I tend to dress I cover all the time. Like I very rarely show my tattoos at all. And I was like, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to go see Theo today and I'll just wear short sleeved, But I feel like I would always get tattooed for myself. Like I just like to look at images or I like what it looks like, what the appearance of it. In the middle of nowhere in Indiana, like I dress like this every day. Like, and it's like, but it's not for anybody else other than, why are you laughing?
I could just see how many men
Yeah.
have like pulled up back at home and like, honey, I seen a damn apparition down there. God damn, this neighborhood's going to shit. So
Really?
I think there's something interesting about, or no, there's some, look, I think a lot of men, I remember in our town, a lot of men would go and cry over by the Winn-Dixie in their truck, I remember.
Why?
I don't know why, but we would go ride our bike over there sometimes. It was like a sad place. Like I think men would just go sit over there and be sad sometimes. I remember seeing that. But I think there was something very alluring about a goth woman
Yeah.
to me. It seemed like a siren, like in that book
Yeah.
for Odysseus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like. There was like something like, what's going on?
Yeah.
This is different. It's different. I think it's brave to be different. I think so. That may be like, was an element of like, this feels brave to me. Like, I'm just interested how somebody kind of leans into that or how they, not that they're joining a group, but it's like, how does that kind of, why does one goth,
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just like what I like, I think. And I just, do more of that or do a lot of that, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I've never gotten
Yeah.
I think there's maybe I might have dated a goth woman at some point. I don't remember. But I think I could have. I think I did.
She didn't write you a poem?
Huh? I'm sure she did. I'm sure. Dude, I was in the French Quarter the other day with my brother, and there's people there, if you go up to them, they'll write a poem for you and your friend that you're
About
with.
you? Is it funny or is it like a...
No, it was like a nice poem.
Okay.
They're like, okay, tell us a little bit about yourself. And I was like, oh, this is my brother, and and so you tell them a couple little things, and then you have to stand there for about 11 minutes. That's the tough part. Because they're on typewriters.
Yeah. Oh, that's
and they're all
extra.
sitting there, sitting there on typewriters, like a row of like 4 of them, and everybody's just like, and there's like music playing, like people are playing the street music, and it was pretty awesome. We had a great time, and we got a nice little Christmas gift there.
Oh, that's cool.
It was super cool. Yeah, it was real nice.
That's cool.
But I was in a class with this lady, and she smoked a lot of weed. Like she had discolorated teeth from them, but she was awesome. She was like the stoner teacher, kind of, or alleged stoner, and we would write poems in there all day. So I think that's maybe where I saw some goth.
Were her teeth? They were yellow?
I think they had a tint to them. I don't want to call. I don't know. She could have had a.
I'm so self-conscious about my teeth lately. I feel like in pictures, because I wear red lipstick all the time. No, I feel like I'm looking at yours. Yours are super white. Mine are not. I'm not even gonna show them anymore. And I was like, I even Googled like why, because I brush and floss like crazy, and I quit smoking. So I thought, oh, I'm gonna get white teeth. It's gonna be amazing. And then it's just not happening. I don't know what to do about it. I won't get the fake teeth that everyone's getting now. It's great. Everyone looks crazy.
Hey, brother.
They look so crazy.
I'm like, damn, what have you been eating, buddy? Electricity? Huh? What have you been eating, dude? Damn, you got gloss finished teeth? What's crazy is your teeth look very nice. I have nice your teeth are whiter than your skin.
No, your teeth are so white.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, huh?
Oh, I guarantee you not. But this is, look, everybody watching is like, these people have the yellowest fucking teeth, these idiots.
I'll live with my yellow if it means not having like chiclet teeth or whatever that everyone has.
It's crazy. My mom was always brushing her teeth and putting on hand cream.
Yeah.
Oh, our house could be burning down, but as long as she was getting her hand cream on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool though, actually. I think, it was just, she'd always have that hand cream going, boy. She liked to have it. I think it was probably calming to her too, maybe to be doing, to kind of do this with her hands.
I wonder what my son's going to take away from, like, that's one of your little core memories. And I'm like, I wonder what.
Oh, what his will be?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because he's so sweet. He learned the word ravishing. Now he's like, this morning, Mom, you look ravishing. Like, thanks.
You're like, go get in that tree for family pictures.
Actually, no.
Dude, that would be a neat idea.
No, we do a lot of family portraits together, and I love our little family because we look like a little family, Like my son, he is not scared about like what I think, not scared, but like spooky to him is fun because it's what he's around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So his normal is a lot different than like normal kids. And we get a lot of criticism about that too. Cause, cause he wears black or I'm like, that's what he likes. Like at this point he sees his dad or his mom, it's like, it's normal to him. So we did like a photo shoot for this, it was actually for like an interview, like for a magazine thing. And they wanted to shoot us in front of our house. And so I was like, oh, there's like this little fountain. And I had like my little, like Tim Burton like parasol thing, and people just hated it. I think they just hated seeing, like it bothers them that we don't look normal. I don't understand. It's really weird. I would think you would think like, oh, that's cute. It's very like Addams Family or something, Well,
but, even like we were saying earlier, people want to put, and I do it too. I want to have a box. I want to have a safe space for things to be in. I don't want things to. I'm okay with the edges fraying, but I think there's a part of me, even like a system of organization, I think. Yeah. Because all your brain does is just organize. It's just an organizing tool.
That's true, yeah.
So I think when things start to get a little weary, they don't know, people don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
What's your husband like?
He's cool. His name is Raphael, and my son's name is Leofar, which is Raphael spelled backwards.
Leofar.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
I know. I wish I had a cool name that sounded good backwards.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. But it's cool.
You don't. I just read it.
I know.
Sorry.
Yeah, right?
Sorry.
But
yeah.
attack. Yeah.
The Novatak. The Novatak.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's very, you should get your son a vulture or something for Christmas, I feel like. I bet, anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you
I'm
bet
sorry
what?
for making so many jokes about
I love it. I love it.
your aesthetic and stuff.
Yeah,
But it's
good.
cool. I never,
Some
I
of them are
wish,
very accurate though.
well, I wish I gotten to talk to more people that are goth people. I think I don't ever do. I don't know if I don't go to enough goth places. I think I've
I don't
always kind of had a affinity for goth women, maybe, I think. Oh, my brother likes goth women too,
Okay.
I think. Or he likes creative ladies,
Yeah,
kind of.
like artsy.
Yeah. And yeah, I think where I was growing up, being artsy was weird, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was like people thought you was gay or something, you know, or you was damn
Yeah.
gay or whatever. If you did, like I remember if you got good grades, you know, people thought you were homosexual, you know?
Really?
Oh, yeah, dude. And so it was like, yeah, so I think being brave enough probably.
Yeah.
And when I was little to have somebody be like unique
Yeah.
like you seem, like you are, I think that would have been, so maybe that's why I think it's really fascinating.
I think it's maybe the trauma. Like that's like because I think about why do I think cigarettes are sexy, right? Like because there's this like sense of like you don't care that you're damaging yourself.
Oh,
and
yeah.
There's like not a danger to it, but just like it's self-destructive a little bit. And I think with maybe it's just like I don't know, like some of my favorite bands and or the music I listen to, it's like there's some stuff that I'm like, oh, they're good, but you could tell they just like they don't have any trauma. Like and
Right.
so it's like I just don't listen to happy music. I don't like happy. I'm not attracted to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe that's what it takes. I know I've had trauma. I mean, I've seen some crazy things.
Do a lot of people mistake you and Dave Navarro ever or not?
No, but you know what I do hate is like, because I really want to have bangs, and every time I've ever cut bangs, people say that I look like Cher, and I don't think I look anything like Cher. I think it's
Yeah.
because we have a deep voice, right?
Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
that
know.
could be it. I saw Cher at a game. She was running around with a young brother at the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's dating like a 17-year-old, I think, or 18, sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but I don't look like Dave Navarro. Take that back.
Sorry,
That's
you don't
so
look anything like
mean.
David Navarro. I was just trying to think if like somebody were like really ridiculous that they would run up and say that. Dude, the saddest thing, his mother got murdered.
I know. I did a portrait of her on him.
You did?
Yeah.
No way.
Mhm.
Wow. The street I lived on is where it happened in Los Angeles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I always think about him all the time. For some reason, I guess because of that or something.
Yeah.
He's an interesting guy. I never got to meet him.
I don't really know him that well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got to know him or know anything about him. But yeah, I just remember that.
I like Jane's Addiction.
Oh, dude, yeah. Bro, a friend of mine threw his 1-year-old birthday, his kid's birthday at Perry Farrell's house,
Oh,
right?
cool.
So I knew about Perry. I didn't know. I knew about Jane's Addiction, but I
Yeah.
didn't know Perry Farrell, right?
Yeah.
So I'm over there just kind of lurking, loitering.
Wait, somebody's kid's birthday? Or-
Yeah, my friend, they didn't have a lot of in LA, a lot of times if somebody finally gets a nice house, everybody starts throwing their children's parties there because it's a big enough space.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, they did it there, and Perry Farrell was in there, and I didn't know. I was just kind of loitering around in the other room because I'm hanging out with a bunch of fucking 1-year-olds. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Well, I was just thinking about this the other day because it was my kid's birthday, right? And he's like super into Billy Idol right now. Like he loves Billy Idol, and he not even Billy Idol. He loves Steve Stevens, which is the guitarist of Billy Idol. And I just love that my kid thinks he's so cool, you know. And he has this little like plastic red guitar that like he'll be in front of the mirror at the house and he'll make the faces like Steve Stevens. And so I tattooed Steve a while back. I did a portrait of his beautiful wife on him, and I was like, I texted him, I'm like, and I sent him a video of my son like.
Oh,
And in the video, I'm like, "Hey, who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Steve Stevens." And like, you know, like it's just the coolest. And so,
there's a picture of him there.
yeah, right.
That's cool.
Exactly. I'm like, oh, I love it. See, my son gets it, you know. And so I was like, should I? Because my friends were like, "Are you gonna ask him to come?" Because I did a rock and roll themed birthday party for him. Like, you're gonna ask Steve Stevens to come? And I was like, no, dude, I'm not gonna do that because I feel like that's one thing that irks me about like LA people, that they'll do that when they get weird about their kids and they'll be like, I want to get, like, without naming names, I've like dated some people that put their kids on these weird pedestals and they'll like use their name to get people to,
Right.
So it's like, I was like, no, I'm not going to. And also like, it'll be weird if he just like shows up and is just hanging out with like a bunch of.
And a 5-year-old if he's hanging out with a 5-year-old.
Yeah. Or just, it'll be boring for him, right?
Yeah, it's like it's not like him and Steve Stevens take a walk and talk about their careers or whatever together.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that part I think would be kind of the strange part. I think it'd be really probably sweet for your son.
Even though I did ask Leofar, I'm like, hey, what would you do if Steve, if you hung out with Steve? He's like, I would take him to the pirate park because there's like a pirate ship park there. I'm like, oh, cool. Show him your Sonic the Hedgehog toy.
Did you
But one time, a long time ago, Kirstie Alley hit me up.
Really?
And was like, hey, my son True is like your biggest fan, and he's having, and this is when he was really little. Like he's like an adult now. But we're having a Kat Von D themed birthday party, and she showed me the cake, and she's like, she's like, I know it's weird and annoying, but do you think you could come over and just like surprise him? And I was just like, Kirstie Alley's so cool, like I loved her, And I was like, should I go over there? And I was tattooing that day, and afterwards I just rolled up, and it was just so awkward because it was just like, hi, and then you're just like, I don't have any tricks, like and there's nothing to do, so. Yeah.
Oh, there's nothing weirder than when you realize you don't have a skill, like an actual skill
thing to
set.
do, like make balloons or something.
Unless you start tattooing little kids, Dude, my best friend Scott, his aunt worked with Kirstie Alley, and we went out to Maine one time.
Why?
That's where they live at, like
Oh.
out on Islesboro Island. And
Really?
so we got to go out there, and we got to go eat dinner at her house one time.
Oh, cool.
It was pretty cool, I think.
That's
Like
cool.
memory's not that great, but I think it was pretty great.
Yeah.
And she had a tennis court that was like kind of in the ocean on these rocks.
Really?
It was literally in the ocean. So it was just like,
So cool.
and being on like Maine is so like, it's
Yeah.
like so just like, yeah, we'll see about that.
Yeah.
It's got that fucking grit in it.
Yeah. Stephen King grit.
Yeah, a lot of fucking domestic abuse up there as well. I'm not pointing fingers, but you could point them anywhere up there and you'd be right. But yeah, I love that place. Portland, Maine. Have you been there?
Portland, no.
One of my most favorite cities.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know it would be amazing, and it was actually blew my mind.
Okay.
Is there a place that you really like?
I'm not gonna say it because it's uber goth.
Oh, it is? Transylvania?
No, I would say like Prague was my favorite place.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just the gothic architecture and stuff. And also I love Beethoven and like I'm gonna be a nerd right now, but one of his apartments is there, and so I went and like took a picture in front of the apartment and everything. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've seen anybody's good death place or place that's like. Have you ever done any weird like rituals or something? I'm sure people think that you've done some.
No, but my friend and we used to collect pictures at cemeteries all around the world, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, like I think my 2 favorite cemeteries that I've ever been to. Well, there's 3, but they're obviously in Paris. There's the famous one where Edith Piaf and Oscar Wilde and everyone else is buried there. And then there's one in Argentina that is like the coolest one ever, and there's like this huge wait list to get buried there. But it's just the most monumental mosques or whatever they're called, but super cool. You just walk and see all the architecture. Yeah.
And New Orleans is like that too.
I went to the New Orleans ones, was good, but it was right after the Hurricane Katrina. A lot of the like body parts and
or
things
back
were,
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people coming back to like probably get money from the government or whatever. Like even bodies were like, you see an arm coming out of the ground, like, give me a check, It's just that kind of city, I think, over there. Yeah. What else do you want to do? You've had an interesting life, Kat.
Yeah.
And look, I know some of the things we say, like being able to leave Los Angeles and do that kind of things, we've at least had enough being able to, like, I don't know. I sometimes wonder, does that seem like egotistical,
I mean, I never want to put down like LA because I love LA, like I love the dirt there. I love my friends. I love a lot of aspects of it.
Yeah, and the weather, being able to go to the beach if you want.
Ugh, the beach.
Oh, yeah, that's true, huh?
Yeah.
That's your arch nemesis.
Yeah, the sun.
I forgot about that. Sorry.
You gotta put me back in that little box with a bow on it.
Yeah. I know. What if your name had been Cat Vitamin D? That would have been so ironic.
Well, I thought like, what if you and I would have gotten married? Then my name would have been Cat Von Von.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You're like, damn, this lady is interesting looking, but even crazier, she's got dyslexia. Yeah. Oh, who that stutter?
Or a stutter, yeah.
The stuttering Icelandic chick? Yeah, she's something. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Well, there's some pictures from that we had of some tattoos that we wanted to just look at with you.
Oh.
Is that okay for a minute?
Okay.
I'm sure people have done this a lot.
Do I have to say bad things about him?
No.
Okay.
We
all
can
right.
say whatever we want. Oh, but I want to ask about your tattoos.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you are getting you're getting inked out. What is it? Is there a term for it? It's really fascinating looking. It
Yeah,
reminds me of one of those
thanks.
hairless cats kind of.
Yeah, I have hairless cats. Yeah, I've been blacking out all of my tattoos. And so I'm in the process. I have like almost 80% of my body done now.
Oh my
But-
God.
Yeah, but it's not gonna look like I'm wearing a scuba diving like thing. I'm gonna have like these like black flowers kind of,
So how black and how long does this process take kind of to do all that?
I think I'm up to 40 hours now. So but I mean
Wow.
I've done like
That's
the
a
arms
work
were the,
week.
yeah, but in increments. I go and I can't sit for more than 2 or 3 hours. And there's this guy in Philly that he like specializes in it. But it's funny because when I first got into tattooing was during a time when there was no tattoo shows or anything. So it was like you would not get hired if you had a face tattoo or you know what I mean? It was a different era. And then I think when like certain celebrities started getting tattooed, like the Drew Barrymores and the Angelina Jolies, like it started kind of bringing it to like if you had a tattoo, a cute one, it was okay, And then the TV shows like blew up and then everybody has a tattoo now and it's kind of boring. But I feel like ever since I started blacking out my tattoos, I feel like I went back to the time where people hated tattoos again because people just do not like this. They're very confused by why I'm doing this. Every time I post progress shots, it's always like, why are you doing this to yourself? Like, this is so ugly. Like, this is,
I think it looks, for some reason, I didn't know what I think it looks nice.
I do too. I like
It's
the
very
simplicity.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
almost fascinating in a strange way. Like it's like
Like
the inverse of something.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like that car. It's like carb. I don't know what it is. Um,
But it's I don't like pain. So I just numb myself up and he sits there and tattoos
now,
me.
when you say numb yourself, what do you put on an
There's like
analgesic or something? Or you do a
topical
pill?
anesthetics. Like
Oh, okay.
Like a cream.
Does that work really?
Yeah. It saves me like a good an hour and a half or something like that. Yeah. No, I can't do pills. I can't do anything. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do nothing like that,
Yeah.
boy.
Nope.
I don't do no pills, bubby.
Yeah.
And so how much now you're going to get 80% of your body done?
No, I'm going to do all of it.
Your whole body's going to be in dark ink.
Uh-huh.
Your whole body's going to be in dark ink.
Yeah.
And now
But
what?
it'll have like sections that are like, like see how there's
Okay, so parts that aren't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Wow, it's almost like it reminds you of like stained glass or something
Yeah.
for some reason.
It'll look nice. I'm like people need to trust the process. It'll look good at the end.
Yeah, if anybody has an eye for something that's unique or trying to do something new, I like that.
Yeah.
It seems like you would be at least granted that
Yeah.
ability to experiment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here's a video of you right here.
Yeah. So that's like my last session I did.
Wow.
I felt after
Ooh, what is that, boy? Is that a damn cake cutter?
that's 40 needles. Yeah.
God damn, brother, that thing. Ooh. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool. Where do your folks been to visit your new place?
My dad has, yeah. My
Yeah?
dad's my contractor, so
Oh,
yeah.
he is, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, good. You can bitch at him easier. And what about your mom?
She lives in Southern California.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Are you guys close or not?
Not as close, yeah. But I think, when I had my son, I feel like she likes being a grandma and that,
Oh, she does?
yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that's fascinating about kids. It like gives your family a chance to like regroup a little, I think. You know, I remember when my niece was born, it just like was the first time that our family started to have
Hang out.
any semblance of a family.
Oh, really?
Because we all had one thing in common that
Yeah.
we cared about.
Yeah.
And it was undisputable.
Yeah.
And so it was like, it starts to, like, other things start to kind of bloom from that a little bit.
That's cool.
Yeah, that must be traumatic hearing people's stories when they come to tattoo, because some people are coming with a story, huh?
Yeah. Every single one. I don't think I've ever tattooed somebody that just, was getting tattooed out of boredom or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of our therapists in the world are getting, they're oversaturated with pain, I think, from other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I just think there's a lot of therapists, a lot of my friends that are therapists, they are
Okay.
oversaturated with people's, because even if somebody shares their story of uncomfort or pain, it still lands on somebody.
Yeah.
And I find a lot of my friends that are therapists are starting to struggle because they are like waterlogged
Yeah.
with other people's like trauma and sharing of it and stuff.
Yeah. That's got to be a heavy job.
Well, that's what I thought when you said it about tattoo work, because I never thought, or
Yeah.
tattoo artists, I'd never thought about that.
Yeah. I mean, I love hearing people's stories, so I'm always very welcoming to, or I was welcoming to all that stuff. So, it never bothered me, but I know that a lot of tattooers didn't want to.
Didn't want to hear it?
Yeah.
What would they do? What do you say? Quiet tattoo time only?
No, I just think that I think when the TV shows came out, people saw it as an outlet for therapy, which it can be, but some people aren't equipped emotionally to do that, For me, I'm like, I can talk
welcome
about
it?
anything. I don't care. Yeah, And I ended up studying books on death and everything just so I could better understand grieving processes and stuff. I'm not a therapist by any means, but
Well, these days, anybody who will listen to somebody caringly, I think, is
Yeah.
better than half. Sometimes it's better even than half the stuff we have out there.
yeah,
There's a lot of shit therapists out there too.
Yeah.
Because anybody can do it.
yeah,
You just have to go to school, and then they'll let you do it.
yeah,
That's like crazy, dude.
yeah. I wonder
could
how
do
much of
that,
that
yeah.
works. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of great therapists.
But
too.
you have a lot of therapist friends?
Yeah,
Oh.
a lot of friends that are therapists, and you just start to see that they're getting. I start to notice a lot of them having a tough time, and it's
Yeah.
like I think a lot of that is just them taking on that people's pain,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd never thought that tattoo artists hear a lot of it.
Yeah.
I just never even thought about it.
Yeah. I mean, at different types, I'm sure. Like if you're just doing, dragons all day, I'm sure it's not the same experience. But I was,
What's the toughest part for somebody to get a tattoo on them?
what do you mean toughest? Like
The
pain-wise?
hardest part, yeah.
I think like some people assume that like if you have like a fatty area, it's not going to hurt as much, but it's more based on your nerve setup. So, your spine, you're going to have a lot of nerves branching off of it. So places like your lower back or your butt, like things like that are pretty sensitive, but I don't
Like
know.
your butt cheek is sensitive?
I remember like the crease where my leg meets my butt was fire.
Ooh,
Or like
God,
the,
that seems scary.
the back of your kneecaps, like, ugh.
Do you think there's something about the pain of getting the tattoo that is also part of the...
I don't know. I'm not one of those people. I know there's like kinky people. I was,
That's not their thing.
I don't know. I have a hard time with it.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Anything else we can think about or talk about? Did you ever find that video of Macaulay Culkin? Yeah, I did. I just thought that this was interesting.
I'd like to thank Brenda. You are absolutely everything. You're my champion. You're the only person happier for me today than I am. You're not only the best woman I've ever known, you're the best person I've ever known. You've given me just all my purpose. You've given me family. And after the birth of our 2 boys, you become one of my 3 favorite people. You're somewhere in there. But I love you. I love you so much. To wrap things up, and in the spirit of the holiday season, I just want to say, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals.
What his life was like. There's a part in the beginning of that where he seems kind of like he still seems like a kid and a man.
Yeah.
I
I never
want-
heard his speaking voice
Yeah.
as an adult until now.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about, Kat? Is there any other like endeavors you think about in your world? Do you think you'll go back to tattooing, or do you still do it? Is that a weird question? I don't.
No, it's
I
not
don't know a ton about tattooing.
No, it's cool. Yeah, I think I'll always want a tattoo until my eyesight goes or something. But I don't know if I'm interested in doing like I just I stopped doing tattoos for money decades ago. It's been like almost like 15 years or something. Like
that's weird to
I just
ask
tattoo my friends,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I think the dynamic can be pretty intense sometimes if you're tattooing like people you don't know, you know? So, because you're like in a room together intimately for like,
You're
hours.
stuck in there. Sometimes has it been a nightmare being stuck in a room with somebody?
I'm never alone, but like, or usually when I used to tattoo strangers, but now, I just tattoo my friends. So.
Do people like say they hire you for like a guest tattoo? Like, is that kind of thing happen as a tattoo artist? Like when you get to have a claim as a tattoo artist, do they say like, I want you to come and do my tattoo? Like, I want to hire you, like.
Oh, like how do you book an appointment? You mean, or what?
Or like specifically, like, does that happen? Like some people might like commission. No, it's a call.
Commission.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would always. Yeah. I mean, it kind of works that way. Like people. When I used to take appointments, it would be more like they'd have to show me what they wanted to get and have like, a little bit of the backstory, that kind of thing. And then we would have like a booking process.
But now does it ever, you get a ring from like a prince of like Nottingham or something and they want to, does that happen to?
Yeah. And I don't like that.
Okay.
I don't like when people like want me to go to them. Because, like, first of all, it's like you're creating a sterile environment. And so, like, I don't want to do that in your kitchen, I've only done that, like, a few times for my friends' friends. But, like, something about, like, I don't know. I don't like feeling like a stripper or something.
Oh, so, there's something about that then. Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I would hate to be a stripper. I would be so bad at it. I don't like people seeing my butt. I think, like, my butt sometimes, Like sometimes if I hook up with a woman or something, I'll walk out of the room backwards so they don't look at my
Really?
butt. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
What's weird with it?
Nothing is wrong with it. I think I just like,
just know that when you stand up after we're done here.
I think it just makes me nervous. I think because I know I look at people's butts sometimes, so I'm just like, dude, so I just got to stop looking at people's
I'm self-conscious
butts.
about that stuff too, to be honest. Like I feel like even in photo shoots, I'll always try and conceal myself somehow.
Yeah.
I was like hide behind things, but
yeah, I love to be hide. Dude, I play hide and go seek, dude. I'd go hide. I'd fucking leave. I'd go home, dude. My buddy's out there looking for me for 3 hours, bro. Fuck him, son. That's life. You better get used to it, buddy. Yep. Thank you so much, Kat Von D, and everybody. You just, you can just find her wherever you usually find people. And best of luck with your new home. I want to see when that tulip garden's gonna be done.
Yeah, you have to come up.
Yeah, what's the ETA on that thing?
I think in spring is usually when they come up. Yeah,
boy.
Yeah,
that's gonna be interesting. Ooh, you got to get a good scarecrow in it.
Yeah,
maybe not.
Yeah, you could. You
don't want to. It's fine.
Yeah,
yeah, that's all good. Kat, thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like these leaves. I must be cornerstone. Oh, but when I reach that ground, I'll share this peace of mind I found. I